The most dangerous person in the room is never the one wearing the diamond-encrusted watch. He is the man in the faded navy sweater sitting in the corner, drinking a plain coffee and looking at his phone just long enough to check a notification before putting it away. He has $40 million in a brokerage account you will never see. He drives a 5-year-old Toyota that is paid for. He lives in a neighborhood where his neighbors think he's a retired middle manager. We have been conditioned to believe that wealth is a performance. We think if we can't see it, it doesn't exist. But in the modern world, visibility is a tax. It's a tax on your time, a tax on your privacy, and ultimately, a tax on your freedom. Most people are spending their lives trying to look rich to people they don't even like. They are trapped in a loop of status signaling that keeps them perpetually broke. They are running a race where the finish line keeps moving. But there is a different way to play this game. A way to accumulate massive wealth without the world ever catching a scent of it. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being invisible. Because once people notice you're winning, they start trying to take your trophy. The world wants you to be loud. Every advertisement, every social media feed, and every cultural cue is designed to make you scream your success from the rooftops. Society views money as a tool for consumption. If you have it, you should show it. If you don't show it, people assume you don't have it. This creates a psychological trap. We start to equate our self-worth with our burn rate. We think that if we aren't upgrading our lifestyle every time we get a raise, we are failing. We feel a strange, hollow pressure to prove our progress to the tribe. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Every time you signal your wealth, you lose a piece of it. You lose it to the salesman who sees your car and raises his quote. You lose it to the friend who suddenly has a business idea they want you to fund. You lose it to the IRS, which is much more interested in the person flashing cash than the person living quietly. Most people are trapped in the Veblen effect. They buy goods precisely because they are expensive. The price tag is the point. They want the world to know they can afford to waste money. It's a biological drive. We want to be at the top of the hierarchy. But in the digital age, the hierarchy is a lie. The person you see on Instagram on a private jet is often drowning in debt. The person you see in the designer suit is often one missed paycheck away from total collapse. They are performing wealth, not possessing it. Real wealth is what you don't see. It's the cars not purchased, the watches not worn, the first-class tickets not booked. It is the gap between what you earn and what you display. To understand how to get rich in the shadows, you have to understand how the system is rigged to keep you visible. The modern economy is built on your desire to be noticed. Banks don't make money from people who save and invest quietly. They make money from people who borrow to buy things they can't afford to impress people who don't care. Think of money as energy. When you earn $1, you have captured a small amount of human effort. You can either release that energy immediately by buying something, or you can store it. When you store that energy, it grows, it compounds. But most people have a leak in their battery. That leak is called lifestyle creep. As soon as their income rises, their expenses rise to meet it. They think they are getting ahead, but they are just running faster on the same treadmill. They are still trading their time for money. They just have nicer shoes now. The secret to getting rich without anyone noticing is to keep your surface area small. If your lifestyle remains static while your income grows, your wealth explodes in the dark. It's like a silent explosion. You are building a fortress, brick by brick, but you aren't putting a flag on the top of it. You are keeping the walls low so no one thinks to look inside. This isn't just about saving money, it's about protecting your psychology. When you don't have a high-maintenance lifestyle to defend, you are harder to manipulate. You can take risks that others can't. You can walk away from a job you hate because you don't need the next paycheck to pay for a lease on a car you don't need. The system hates this. The system wants you dependent. But there is a hidden math to this invisibility that most people completely overlook. Let's look at the numbers. If you earn $100,000 and spend $90,000, you are left with $10,000. You are richer than someone who earns $50,000, but only slightly. Your margin is thin. If you earn $100,000 and live like you earn $50,000, you have $50,000 of fuel every single year. In 10 years, with basic compounding, that invisible gap becomes $1 million. While your peers are arguing over which luxury SUV has better leather, you have bought your freedom. But here's the trick. You still look like you earn $50,000. Your footprint hasn't changed. Your tax bracket might have, but your target profile hasn't. This is the first hack of the invisible rich. Decouple your identity from your spending. Most people use their spending to tell the world who they are. The invisible rich use their spending to buy back their time. They understand that every dollar spent on a status symbol is a dollar that can no longer work for them. It's a soldier you've sent out to die instead of letting him stay home and build your empire. The math of compounding is a silent engine. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't need to be polished. It just works in the background, doubling and tripling while you sleep. But it requires silence to work. If you keep dipping into the engine to buy shiny parts for the exterior of your life, the engine never gains enough momentum to take off. People think becoming a millionaire is about a big event, a lottery win, a lucky stock pick, a massive exit. It rarely is. It's usually just the result of a decade of being invisible. It's the result of being the only person in the room who doesn't feel the need to prove they belong there. Social media has created a hallucination of what success looks like. We see the hustle culture influencers. We see the kids in Dubai with the rented Lamborghinis. We see the day traders showing off their P&L statements. This has created a false baseline for what making it means. It has made people feel like if they aren't winning loudly, they aren't winning at all. But look at the data. Look at the people who actually hold the majority of the world's private wealth. They aren't the ones on your Explore page. They are the millionaire next door. They are the quiet professionals, the small business owners who own the boring companies that make the parts for the things you use every day. They understand the second hack, the wealth paradox. The paradox is that the more you spend to look rich, the less wealth you actually have. Wealth is what you have in the bank. Riches are what you spend. They are opposites. When someone drives past you in a $100,000 car, the only thing you know about their wealth is that they have $100,000 less than they did before they bought the car. Or, more likely, they have a massive debt. The invisible rich embrace the boring. They invest in index funds. They buy cash-flowing real estate in middle-class neighborhoods. They own businesses that provide essential services. They don't chase the hype. They don't buy the coin of the month. They don't try to time the market. They know that the loudest voices in finance are usually the ones with the least to lose. They are selling you a dream so they can fund their own reality. The third hack is strategic mediocrity. This means deliberately choosing to look average. It's a defensive move. If you look average, you are ignored. When you are ignored, you are left alone to build. You don't get the friends and family tax. You don't get targeted by scammers. You don't get the social pressure to pick up the tab every single time. It sounds cynical, but it's practical. The moment you signal wealth, you change the chemistry of your relationships. People stop seeing you and start seeing your balance sheet. They start calculating what you can do for them. By staying invisible, you keep your relationships honest. You know that the people in your life are there for you, not for your zip code. This is the psychological tax of being rich that no one tells you about, the loneliness of the visible. The invisible rich avoid this by simply never revealing the hand they are playing. They treat their net worth like their medical records. It's private, it's personal, it's nobody's business. But why is this so hard? If the math is simple and the benefits are clear, why does everyone keep falling into the trap of visibility? Because humans are social animals. We are hardwired to care about what the tribe thinks of us. In our ancestral past, being at the bottom of the hierarchy meant you didn't eat. It meant you didn't reproduce. The drive for status is literally written into our DNA. Our brains haven't caught up to the fact that a designer belt doesn't actually make us a more formidable hunter-gatherer. This is the fourth hack, high-level cognitive reframing. You have to train yourself to find more pleasure in the security of money than in the utility of money. Most people get a dopamine hit when they buy something. The invisible rich get a dopamine hit when they see their brokerage balance go up. They find joy in the option to buy something, rather than the act of buying it. There is a profound sense of power in walking into a store, knowing you could buy everything in it, and choosing to buy nothing. That is true wealth. It's the power of the no. The person who has to say yes to every new trend to stay relevant is a slave. The person who can say no, because they don't care about relevance, is the only one who is actually free. But this requires a level of ego control that most people haven't developed. We are all insecure. We all want to be liked. We all want to feel like we've made it. The fifth hack is internal validation. You have to reach a point where your opinion of yourself is more important than the world's opinion of you. If you need a car to tell you that you're successful, you aren't successful. You're just a customer. The invisible rich have nothing to prove. They know they've won. They don't need a scoreboard that the public can see. They realize that the most expensive thing you can own is a large ego. It requires constant feeding. It requires constant upgrades. And it is never, ever satisfied. When you kill the ego, you kill the need to be noticed. And when you kill the need to be noticed, the money starts to pile up so fast, it becomes frightening. Then there is the sixth hack, the shadow portfolio. The invisible rich don't just hide their money, they hide their income streams. They don't have one big, loud job. They have multiple quiet assets. They might have a consulting gig that no one knows about. They might have a series of small websites. They might have dividends from companies you've never heard of. They don't talk about their hustle, they just work. When people ask what they do, they give a vague, slightly boring answer. I work in private equity. I do some consulting. I'm in data management. The goal is to be the least interesting person at the dinner party. If you are the most interesting person, you are the target. If you are the person talking about your latest big win, you are inviting scrutiny. The invisible rich know that information is a liability. The less people know about how you make your money, the less they can interfere with it. They live by the rule. Stealth wealth is the best wealth. It allows you to move through the world like a ghost. You get all the benefits of the modern world with none of the friction. You can sit in the same cafes, walk the same streets, and enjoy the same parks as everyone else, but with a level of psychological safety that they will never understand. You aren't worried about the economy. You aren't worried about being fired. You aren't worried about your status. You are playing a different game entirely. The seventh and final hack is the exit without an exit. Most people think of getting rich as a destination. They think they will work hard, get the money, and then start living. The invisible rich realize that the process of being invisible is the life. They don't plan for a day when they finally reveal themselves. There is no grand unveiling. They just continue to live their quiet, comfortable, high-margin lives. They understand that the moment they exit into visibility, they lose the very thing they worked so hard to build. They lose their peace. So they stay in the shadows, by choice. They grow their wealth until it is generational. They set up trusts. They educate their children on the value of silence. They build a legacy that is felt, but not seen. And as they get older, they become even more invisible. They become the eccentric old man who spends his days gardening, while secretly being the largest shareholder in the local utility company. They become the quiet woman who volunteers at the library, while her portfolio funds 3 different medical research labs. They have achieved the ultimate human goal: total autonomy without the burden of fame. But here is the question you have to ask yourself. Can you actually do it? Can you handle being the person that no one notices? Can you handle the silence when your peers are bragging? Can you handle the feeling of being left behind by the trends, knowing that you are actually miles ahead in the only race that matters? Most people can't. They will watch this, they will understand the logic, they will agree with the math, and then they will go out and buy something they don't need tomorrow. They will do it because the itch to be seen is stronger than the desire to be free. They will choose the golden handcuffs because they like the way the light glints off the metal. Getting rich without anyone noticing isn't a financial challenge. It's a psychological war against your own biology. It's a choice you have to make every single morning. Do you want to look like a king to a group of strangers, or do you want to be a king in a kingdom that only you know exists? The world is waiting for you to show your hand. It's tempting to lay your cards on the table and show everyone how well you've played. But the real winners, they never show their cards. They just keep winning. In the dark. In the silence. Until the game is over. And even then, they might just let you think they lost. Which makes you wonder, how many millionaires have you walked past today without even realizing it? And more importantly, are you okay with being one of them, or do you still need us to look at you? Think about that the next time you feel the urge to buy something nice. Freedom is found in the shadows. Everything else is just a costume. Are you ready to disappear? How to start being invisible while building wealth?